Hi, I'm Divya and thanks for joining me today. Today's tutorial features products from Craftslane. I'm using their chunky MDF letters. I made this for my 6-month-old baby niece. I recently went to meet her and I took her a ton of goodies. This was one of them. Craftslane sells decoupage napkins in a pack of 20. So once I've decided what napkins I'm using, I pick a base coat. Today I'm using a beige cream color acrylic paints. Also decided to add some white because this was getting a little too dark. I generally prefer using white base coat, either chalk paint or gesso or primer or acrylic paint. I prefer using white most of the times. So I'm using a piece of sponge to dab the paint onto the MDF. I am going to let it dry and flip them over and paint on all the sides. Once I have a good coverage, I let it dry. It could be slightly patchy, but that's okay. Always remember to tear your napkin and not cut it. When you cut, you leave a sharp edge. There are two ways to tear your napkin. One, you could just tear with your hands, or you could use a wet, thin brush and run it along the line you want to tear, and it'll easily tear off. Be careful not to wet the napkin too much, or you won't be able to control the tearing. Once you have picked the elements you want to use, make sure to separate all the layers. We will just be using the top layer. Today I'm using decoupage glue from the brand Heritage. I usually switch between this and Mod Podge from Plaid. So I'm taking a flat brush and I'm applying some decoupage glue onto the letter, and then I'm placing the napkin over it and gently tapping it. At this point, make sure the decoupage glue is not in excess. The drier, the better. The napkin tends to tear when you use too much glue. So I just use glue at the bottom. Use my fingers to press the napkin into the glue. And maybe just over the sides, press it lightly with the brush. Go over with the brush. If at this point your brush is wet, the napkin will tear. So the rule is not too much decoupage glue. I'm using a pair of scissors to cut the napkin wherever necessary, so it'll help me wrap around the letter. I'm taking a piece of sandpaper and gently sanding off the excess. Any sandpaper from your local hardware store will do. You could even use a nail file. I apologize for the shaky camera. I'm in my new studio and I have a new table I'm working with. I'm still figuring out my new setup. I promise to improve the quality. Once the letter R is complete, I am doing the same with letter A. For letter A and I didn't want to cover the napkin too much. I just wanted a little bit of the motif to come on it. But I wanted the R to completely be filled with the roses. Okay, so that's done. Once complete, I'm now picking acrylic colors to closely match the napkin, and I'm going to dab over the letter. I'd like to keep this as patchy as possible, so you'll see it won't look very nice right now. It'll look really messy right now, but once we've completed all the steps, once we've done a little bit of stamping over it, it'll all just come together. While I'm working in the background, I wanted to mention a couple of things. Craftslane sells the decoupage napkins in a pack of 20, and I love that. It works out really well for me because I use a lot of napkins in my workshops. It's also useful to have the same design if you're planning to work on bigger surfaces. The other thing I do is buy a pack and share it among some friends. The pack contains 20 napkins for rupees 200. So a tissue comes up to rupees 10, and that's really economical. The second thing I wanted to mention is that I'm planning to make more videos from this month onwards. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if you have any requests, any topics that you want me to cover, any projects that you want me to try. Please let me know in the comment section below, and I will plan my content accordingly. Okay, that's done. I have painted the front of the letters. I'm now going to use the same colors and paint the backs and the sides as well. I just want anyone who would pick these up to be able to see the pattern and paint running all over instead of just the front. If this is going on the wall, maybe I wouldn't bother. But I was thinking my niece would have this on a table or something, because these stand upright and they look very cute. So that way, if someone picked it up, they'd like to see the pattern and paint continue. I will leave a link of all the supplies I've used today in the description box below. Don't forget to check it out. Okay, so done. I've painted all the sides, I've painted the front, I've painted the back. I'm now moving to stamping. This of course is optional. You could use stamps, any stamps that you have. I'm just zooming in to show you what a huge difference stamping makes. I'm using acrylic, sorry, I'm using Archival inks by Ranger. This is the chocolate brown color, and I'm using stamps by Tim Holtz. These stamps are really old, maybe 4 years old. I'll definitely try to find the link and share it in the description box below, along with the other links. I hope you can see what a huge difference stamping is making to the whole project. It just brings everything together, and I've realized the patchier your background, the better stamping looks. I stamp on all sides to continue the design. Once that's done, I am using a dark shade of pink and rubbing it on the edges. I'm not doing too much of this, I'm just being very subtle about it, just to add some interest. Now that the decoupage is complete, I am going to seal it. I'm using the same Heritage brand Decoupage glue again. The reason I'm using the Decoupage glue on this is because it has archival properties. I don't want the napkins to change color as they age. If I were to directly use, I don't know, a wood varnish, that will definitely yellow my project in some years. So just to ensure that doesn't happen, I am applying one generous layer of decoupage glue on all sides. I will let it dry and then apply a layer of wood varnish. For my second and final coat, I like to use Asian Paints Aquador. The reason I prefer Aquador is because it's water-based, 2, it's odorless, and 3, it's really fast drying. So it's mess free. It doesn't need any solvents to clean up, and it dries really instantly. I usually pour the wood varnish into a smaller bottle and thin it down with water. You could use any wood varnish. You don't have to buy this brand. I prefer this brand because of those 3 reasons. The second layer ensures that the decoupage glue that you applied isn't sticky. This is just better protection. I go over all the letters on all sides and let it dry naturally. I hope you liked the video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll promise to get back to you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.